If you enjoy this story, please consider subscribing to my channel to support me in creating more and even better stories. This is the second story in our Horror Elevator Stories series. The first episode received so much love from you all, and I am incredibly grateful for that. If you haven't heard the first episode yet, you can find it by clicking the I button. Now, without further delay, let's dive into today's story. This story takes place in San Francisco, though I won't be revealing the exact location. My name is Drake, and I was thrilled because I had just landed my first job at an IT company. My position was in the call center, working the night shift. The year was 2017. And it was my very first day on the job. After finishing dinner around midnight, I took a cigarette break and stepped out of my office onto the corridor. I noticed that the staircase leading down to the 6th floor was blocked off by a small iron gate, clearly meant to prevent anyone from going down there. I found it odd, but ignored it. At 4 a.m., when my shift ended, I noticed something even stranger, since the stairs to the 6th floor were locked. My co-workers and I all used the fire exit to go down, but even the fire exit to the 6th floor had barriers and obstacles blocking the way. Every possible entry to the 6th floor was sealed off, which shocked me, but I didn't think much of it at the time. A few days later, during another night shift, I found myself alone on the ground floor, waiting for the elevator to take me up to the 7th floor where my office was located. I pressed a button for the 7th floor, and the number started blinking with a blue light. But after a few seconds, the button for the 6th floor, which had been taped over to prevent it from being pressed, started blinking too, as if someone had called the elevator to that floor. The elevator stopped on the 6th floor, and the doors slowly opened. What I saw was pure darkness. There were no lights on that floor, and the dim light from the elevator barely illuminated the black void in front of me. No one got in, and the doors began to close, but then they opened again, as if someone outside had pressed the button. This happened 2 or 3 more times. The doors would almost shut, only to reopen, but no one was there. Thinking it might be a prank, I stepped out of the elevator to see what was going on. The 6th floor had the same layout as the 7th. A long corridor with a fire exit at one end and a large window at the other. As I looked around, I saw a man standing near the fire exit. His shadow was faintly visible due to the dim light coming from other floors. I called out to him, "Excuse me, sir, is there a problem with the elevator?" He didn't respond. I asked again, but still nothing. Then I heard a voice from the 7th floor shout, "Are you crazy? Why did you get out of the elevator? Get back in now." Startled, I rushed back into the elevator, and the doors finally closed. When I arrived at the 7th floor, a co-worker was standing there, looking furious. He demanded to know why I had stepped out on the 6th floor. Confused, I brushed it off, assuming he was upset because I was new and might have messed something up. Later that night, during another cigarette break, the office boy approached me and asked if I had been stuck in the elevator earlier. I told him I wasn't stuck, but the elevator had stopped on the 6th floor and wouldn't go directly to the 7th. When I mentioned stepping out to check the issue, his face grew pale. He explained that several months earlier there had been a fire on the 6th floor in the office directly below ours. A man had been caught in the fire, and his body had been burned beyond recognition as he tried to escape through the fire exit. The damage was so bad that the floor had remained sealed off for a long time, and even when it was renovated, electrical problems kept occurring. Eventually, all businesses on that floor left, and the floor was locked down. Since then, no one had been allowed on the 6th floor, and every route leading there had been blocked. The office boy told me that many strange incidents had happened there over the years, including one where a cleaning boy went to the 6th floor by mistake. He saw a man standing in front of office number 666, the same office where the fire had occurred. When the cleaning boy said hello, the man turned around, revealing his charred, smoking body. Horrified, the boy quit the job that very day. From then on, people reported the elevator always stopping on the 6th floor when traveling from the 7th, even though the floor was supposed to be inaccessible. I didn't believe the story at first, but a few days later, I experienced something even more terrifying. While going up in the elevator again, the button for the 6th floor started blinking and the doors opened just like before. This time I pressed the button to close the doors, but they wouldn't shut. The same eerie scenario repeated. The doors tried to close, but opened again and again. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw an orange glow, like fire, coming from the left. I heard someone running, screaming in agony. The foul stench of burning flesh filled the air as the sound grew closer. Just as the door finally shut, I could hardly breathe. When I got to the 7th floor, I was shaking, barely able to speak. I told my coworkers everything. After that night, the company hired an operator to monitor the elevator 24/7. But eventually, we moved out of that building altogether